Hi, welcome to another year bolder. My name is Jamie. On this channel, we're talking about weight loss, fat burning, and fat storing meals. We're also working on improving our health and our mobility. At least that's what I'm working on for sure, and I hope you're following along as well. This is week 4, so I do have an update for the results of week 4. It's August 31st right now, and I weighed myself and measured myself yesterday, which was August 30th for week 4. And then I'll tell you what my weight loss coach has me planned on for the rest of the week as far as eating. And then also I had quite a few struggles this week. So I was really surprised to see the number on the scale. Happy surprise, of course, because I was literally expecting to gain. I'll tell you some of the things that took place, why I thought I was going to gain weight, and then go from there. I initially weighed in and measured myself on August 1st. That's when I started. My glucose then was 141. My weight was 314. My BMI was 62 and my waist was 55 inches. That was just the starting time. Now, week 4, my glucose is 117. So it went from 141 to 117. My weight is 303. It went from 314 to 303. That gives me an 11-pound loss in total. So I lost 4 pounds this past week. Super excited about that. My BMI has finally dropped another point. So it went from it's 59 now, and it originally was 62, so I'm down 3 points on that. And then my waist is 54 inches. I finally lost 1 full inch because it was 55, and I had been sitting at 54 and a half for quite a while. So in total, my glucose, I went down 24 points. My weight, I've lost 11 pounds. My BMI, I went down 3 points. And my waist, I went down 1 full inch. Now, if you followed along, you know that I've already said that when I lose weight, I lose it in my face and I lose it in my chest first. I can already see that I'm getting slimmer. Right here, sorry, my hair is on my face. I'm already getting slimmer on my double chin, and I do naturally have a double chin because it's just something that runs in our family, but it's definitely getting smaller, and I'm so thankful for that. Sorry. And another thing I wanted to talk about is, I don't think I've mentioned this before. I may have and I may not have. But another way that I stay on track is I journal all of my food. So you can see this is a calendar that has like weekdays. This is like the starting point. This was for August 23rd, so don't go by that. But I journal all of my food. I put what I had for my breakfast, what I had for my lunch, what I had for my dinner, what I ate for my snack, how much water I had, if I drank something else. Like I am drinking mini Dr. Peppers because I like soda, and that's just something that I drink. So I track all of that. I log it. That way I know if I have a week that went really bad, I know what I did. If I have a week that went really good, I know what I did. So either way, I'm tracking it so I can stay on top of things. That way I know what's going on with me, where I need to make some changes. And I'm going to tell you, in these 4 weeks, I've lost the 11 pounds. I have barely done any exercise. I did walk a little bit last week, which I'm going to get to what happened last week. I did walk a little bit last week, but as far as that, I've barely done anything. I've walked here and there, but it's nothing major because I do have back and knee issues, and my weight loss coach told me to start off slow and just work my way up to things. So that's what I've been doing. With that said, I'm ready to tell you what happened this week and why I thought I was going to gain weight. So if you've been following along, and even if you're not, if you haven't and you're new here, I live in Central Florida and we're currently in hurricane season. So we had quite a few things take place this week. Last weekend, we had 2 power outages and 2 internet outages. And one of the internet outages, sorry, I can't say it, left to our router or our modem being fried. So we had to turn those in the next day and get those swapped out. So we didn't have any internet for almost 2 full days. With that going on, we lost some of our food in the refrigerator because we kept having power outages. And I kid you not, these were small little storms. We've had hurricanes that were horrific, even storms that were worse than this. We had a hailstorm and we never lost power. So 2 power outages, we lost some of our food in the refrigerator. So I did not have a lot of slow carbs to continue with. And then this is probably where I struggled the most. We also had an ant problem. So we talked to several people in our building. They're all having problems with ants. We don't know if it's the weather, and it's just they're trying to find higher ground because we're on the 4th floor. We're guessing that that's what it is. We did talk to the exterminator when he came out, and we asked him, and he said, yes, it's because the weather has been so bad. So they're trying to find higher ground where it's not as wet and it's safer, which is why we ended up with an ant problem. So our ants were in our 2 food cabinets. They weren't anywhere else but our 2 food cabinets. And then we had a couple of them on our stove. There wasn't many on our stove. They were mainly in our food cabinets. So we could see them in the cracks of our cabinet. So I researched it, and there was this thing that said mix powdered sugar with baking soda, and another one that said mix protein powder with baking soda, to see which one, what kind of ants we had, if we had sugar ants or protein ants. So we did that. The ants went to both piles, so I couldn't tell you. Anyway, we got the ants taken care of. We don't like to exterminate bugs or anything like that, so I'm going to put that out there. But unfortunately, we had to. They were all over our bread, all over our tortillas. They were in our bacon bits. They had gotten all up in our not syrup, but honey. So we did unfortunately have to exterminate them. But now everything's better. But we did lose food in our pantry. We lost food in our refrigerator. So there was a couple of days where I had one fat storing meal twice this week. There was a day where I ate Chipotle. It's just, we had to get something convenient, and that's what I wanted. You know, I could have gone for a salad, but I wanted Chipotle. So I had a burrito with steak, rice, and tortillas. The rice and tortillas combined made it a fat burning meal. Had I not had the rice and just had the tortilla, which I could have done, mind you, I would have had a fat burning meal, because it was lettuce, tomatoes, sour cream, cheese, steak, rice, and tortilla. So I could have opted out to not have the rice, but when I eat Chipotle burrito, I like the rice. So I went ahead and said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it. This one meal, I'm going to do it. I'm allowed one cheat meal a week. I was like, okay, I'm going to make this my cheat meal, and a cheat meal is when you have double the fast carbs. So I said, that's what I'm going to do. Well, that was the only fat storing meal I had. Last night we went out to dinner, and we'd gone grocery shopping, but I had class. I was in my training class. Thank goodness my training class is over. Woohoo! But I was in my training class until 3. Once that ended, I was going to meet a lady for this little Winnie the Pooh pumpkin ceramic thing that I wanted. I'll post a picture of it in case you're curious. But I've been looking for this thing for a long time, and people had jacked up the price on it so much. She had a really good deal. So as soon as I got out of class, we headed over there because I promised her I'd be there by 4. It's pouring down while we're on our way over there. And afterwards it stopped, and my husband is like, I'm really hungry. And we still needed to go by Publix to pick up our produce. We got our regular groceries through Walmart. What is it? Online grocery pickup? Yes. So we got our regular groceries that way, but I don't get my produce with them anymore, because almost every single time I get my produce with them, it's not good. And so we decided, we usually get it at Costco, but we weren't going to Costco today. So I was like, well, let's run by Publix. We literally have one right down the road. So we'll go by Publix, we'll get all our produce, we'll pay just a little bit more, and it'll be better and fresher. So we both agreed to that. Well, we had 2 more errands to run. So while we're out, we're both like, man, we're really hungry. Let's go get something to eat. I asked my husband what he wanted, because the last 2 times we ate something, we went where I want, and it's, you know, it's only right that he gets to eat what he likes. He originally said Panera Bread, but it was a lot further away than all the other ones. And I was like, okay, pick 4 places. I didn't really want Panera Bread. I do like Panera, I just didn't want it that time. So I asked my husband, I said, pick 4 places that you want to go eat at today, and then I'll choose whichever one, you know, I'm okay with, or whatever one I feel like I can make a fat burning meal with the easiest. So I think he gave me Panera Bread, Cracker Barrel, Red Robin. I can't remember what the 4th one was. I don't remember what the 4th one was. But he really said, I really, really want Red Robin. So if you're okay with Red Robin, let's do it. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'll get a burger and I'll get a salad. We're going to do this. Well, I get there, right? And sure, I got the burger, right? I got I think it's called a Royal Red Robin. It has a bun. It has an egg we got egg over medium. It has meat. It has bacon. It has lettuce, tomato, and I think it had an onion on it. And then I added mayonnaise and mustard, of course. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, yes, I need to get a salad. But I'm not going to lie. I've been eating a lot of salads. And I was like, I want the garlic. I think it was garlic parmesan fries. I was like, I really want the garlic parmesan fries. And my husband's like, just do it, man. You have been doing so good. Just do it. So he convinced me, needless to say. So I ate the fat storing meal, the burger, because of the bun and the fries, that's 2 fast carbs, which puts it into fat storing. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and eat it. I want it. I'm not gonna deprive myself, and I did have a soda. So I had that. So that's why I thought I was gonna gain weight. And he had some ice cream earlier that day, and he gave me a little bit of his ice cream. So between the Chipotle burrito, the Red Robin burger, which all were delicious, by the way, and the ice cream that I had, I was like, I'm so gonna gain weight, because I just thought I was. I was like, I'm gonna plan for it. I'm gonna pick myself back up next week, and I'm gonna start over again. And it is what it is at this point. So when I saw that, I kid you not, when I jumped on the scale, didn't jump, but when I got on the scale and I saw a 4-pound loss, I almost fell over. I weighed myself 3 times. 3 times. That's like, there's no way I lost 4 pounds. There's no way. Not with how bad I ate this week and all the chaoticness that was going on. There's no way. Weighed myself 3 times, all 3 times, 303 on the dot. So I lost 4 pounds. For a total of 11 pounds. And I am super stoked. I'm over the moon. I was prepared to pick myself back up from whatever catastrophe I had created. And look at that. It was way better than what I thought it was going to be. And I talked to my weight loss coach. I told him about everything that had happened and everything that I had done. And he was like, well, it worked out in your favor. He said, well, look, last week you only lost 1 pound, so you definitely made up for it this week. And I don't know if I mentioned this last week, and I don't even know if I told him. But the week that I only lost 1 pound, I was on my menstrual cycle, because I am premenopausal, so I still do get that. Everything's just a little different. But I do still get that, and you know, some people might want to hear about this. But whenever you are, you tend to get bloated. And so I told him, I said, I don't know if I told you that. He said, no, you didn't tell me. He said, so that's probably why you only lost 1 pound. You were bloated. And then that week ended. And then this week you made more than made up for it. And he said, that's usually how it goes whenever you're having, you know, your women's things. 1 week you won't lose as much, or you'll be at a standstill, and you might even gain. And then the following week you generally make it up. The thing with that is he was like, you had a really great week this week. So please, please, whatever the scale says next week, don't let it get you down. And I tell you what, I'm not going to let it get me down. I was so excited with this 4-pound loss and not gain. I'm not going to let whatever happens next week get me down. My class is over. I can focus more. I can get more of my exercise in. So I feel good about this week, and I'm already on the right track. So I do have family in town. Well, they're only here for a couple of days. I think they landed late Thursday night. They've been going to Halloween Horror Nights at not Hollywood Studios, Universal Studios. I don't really do Halloween Horror Nights. It's just not my thing. So they've been going to that. We're having either lunch or dinner tomorrow. I'm taking my husband to work, and I'm picking him back up so I can have the car to go have lunch with them. So I'm really excited about that. Poor thing, he was sick on Saturday. We don't know what happened. He just was really not feeling good, which was yesterday, but he felt much better today, so he went to work. Anyway, having lunch with my sisters and my nieces. I've got 3 nieces and 2 sisters in town. I've got a lot more family, but that's what's in town right now. So I'm going to have a lunch or dinner or something with them, and I'm really looking forward to that. But as far as my weight loss coach, so last week what I was doing was I had, and I call them meal 1 and meal 2, which is breakfast and lunch, because I don't eat them always at that time frame. But breakfast, lunch, meal 1, meal 2, I was doing a slow carb. I could have either a half a fast carb or a full fast carb, and then a protein. And then for dinner, I had 2 slow carbs and a protein. And I will tell you, when you look and see what I ate, you're going to see that there was sometimes I had 2 slow carbs and a protein in the morning. Sometimes where I had a full carb, fast carb at night, because I was all over the place with us losing some food between the ants and the weather. I just kind of had to eat what I had. So this week I'm going to be more focused, because he was like, well, whatever you did last week definitely worked. And I was like, I know. So this week he told me to do the same thing. He said I can have a full fast carb for meal 1 and meal 2 if I want, along with a slow carb and a protein, or I can continue to do the half a fast carb with the slow carb and the protein. I told him that there's some days that I want the full fast carb for meal 1 and 2, and there's some days I don't want it at all. Like sometimes I want 2 slow carbs, sometimes I want a half a fast carb, sometimes I want a full fast carb for meal 1 and meal 2. Meal 2. Dang, I can't talk. Meal 1 and meal 2. Sorry. And he said to do whatever I was comfortable with. And since I'm going to do whatever I'm comfortable with, I'm going to kind of do what I did last week. I'm still going to try not to have any fast carbs in my dinner. Last week was just a little bit unavoidable with the chaos. But the reason why not to have any fast carbs at dinner is because your body doesn't process it as easily, or, you know, burn through it as easily, however you want to call it. So I am going to try, if I have fast carbs, which I will have fast carbs, but they will be either in meal 1 and meal 2, or one of the two. But I want to do my best not to have them in any of my dinners for this particular week. And I have been drinking 2 mini Dr. Peppers a day, and then having like 2 to 3 bottles of water, sometimes 4 bottles of water with True Lemon. I do like the True Lemon packets as well. So that's just where I am now. I hope this helps you. I am going to go ahead and attach what I've been eating to the end of this video, or what I ate last week to the end of this video. So if you're interested, you want to see some of the meals I don't have a picture of the ice cream because we were in the car and he only gave me a little bit of his ice cream, so it's not like I had a lot. I don't have a picture of the ice cream, and I forgot to take a picture of the burger at Red Robin. So I'm going to see if I can find a picture online and I'll post it, but just know that that's not my legitimate picture. I did have the Royal Red Robin with the Parmesan garlic eggs and some ranch. I completely forgot to take the picture. The burger was so messy that by the time I got it all fixed up and wrapped up in a napkin, I didn't want to set it back down to take the picture. I should have taken a picture of my husband's because he hadn't started on his yet, but he had a double meat Red Robin and I only had a single meat, so it really wouldn't have compared, but I guess I should have taken a picture. So check out what I ate last week. You're going to see where I had some blubber moments because of all the chaos with losing the food and then having the two, basically 2 cheat meals versus just 1 cheat meal a week. And, you know, I hope it gives you some ideas. Hope it helps you. If you have any questions, please always ask me. I'm happy to help. I'll also show my results from the beginning to till now if you're curious and if you want to see that. Maybe I went through it a little bit too fast, but I'll post that too. And I really hope, you know, I can encourage you. I really hope that I can encourage you, motivate you. If I can help you in any way, please reach out to me. Let me know. Ask any questions that you may have. Sorry, I'm trying not to hiccup. But ask me any questions that you have and I'll be happy to answer anything. And I do follow, in case you're interested, non-sponsored. I'm not sponsored by anything. I do follow iCore with Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson. That is the program I'm on. I only count calories for my snack because it's 100 to 200 calories for my snack for females, 200 to 300 calories for the snack for males. And then everything else is portion control and then how I plate my food. So I don't count any carbs. I don't count any macros or any points or anything like that. This is all I do is portion control and how I plate my meal with certain items together. Please keep in mind, I am a very, very picky eater. I don't like a lot of cooked vegetables. I do like some. I prefer my vegetables and my fruits to be fresh and raw. I don't know why I'm like that, but I do. So you're going to see that I might eat some of the same meals often. I'm always going to mix and match and plate them differently because I know I'm a picky eater. And there's like, if I've tried a lot of new recipes and I like some of them and some of them I have not. So you're not going to see me veer off a whole lot with my meals. Like you're always going to see pork chops are going to be in there. Chicken thighs are going to be in there. You're going to see, sometimes you'll see fajita meat, eggs, sausage, bacon, you know, that stuff. And then you'll always see lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, strawberries, blueberries, cherries, lettuce, cauliflower. That's all going to be in the mix because I do like all that stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that I really enjoy. And every now and then, you know, you'll see me cook some green beans or you'll see me cook a meal that has cooked veggies inside, like bell peppers and onions and things like that. I'm just a particularly picky eater. It drives my husband nuts that I'm so picky because there's some things that he really likes and I'll make them for him. Like the taco ring, he loves taco ring and I used to like it, but I don't know, for some reason over the years I don't like it as much. And he loves my chicken and dumplings, which I used to love my chicken and dumplings, but over the years I don't like it as much. So it drives him bananas because he really loves those two things, and I very rarely make them. Right now he's been asking me for nachos, but because I don't want to have too many chips, I haven't been making them. But I'm going to make a fat burning nacho, and I'm going to show you how I do it. Now he's going to want the melted Velveeta cheese, whereas I'm probably going to go a different route with my cheese. I don't know when I'll make the nachos, but I'll post that, and I'll let you see, how I make the fat burning nachos versus how he's probably going to eat them, because he is in fat storing mode right now. He's trying to gain some weight. He's always been very fit but thin, and he wants to be fit but bulky. So right now he's trying to bulk up and then work out to turn it all into muscle but be thick. So that's what he's working on, but he's still watching his cholesterol, still watching his sodium, and still watching his sugar, because he was pre-diabetic last time he went to the doctor. I don't believe he is anymore. We have to do another check, but we've been really working on that, keeping an eye out for it. But that's where you're going to see our meals different. And now that class is finally over, my training is done, I can start making some different kind of videos and adding some, oops, sorry, I'm shaking the camera. It's right in front of me, the chicken. I can start making some different videos and showing you different things, which is what I've been wanting to do. I just haven't had the time for it. But anyway, stay tuned. You'll get to see what I ate last week to lose 4 pounds. And again, if you like what you see, please go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe. It really helps us go further. Click the notification bell every time you want to see a new video that we post out. And just stay tuned for what I ate and my results. Here's where you're going to see my new results. You see it's 303 pounds, 59 BMI, 117 glucose. So that's really good. You'll start to see that I did not have some snacks, and there was one or two meals that I didn't have. I think it was just one meal. Here's where I had the burrito. Remember, if I took out the rice, it would have been a fat burning meal instead of fat storing. All of these were delicious. You're going to kind of see that I'm eating the same thing over and over again, just mix matching it differently throughout the week because we were limited on the food we had. Once the food in the refrigerator, some of the food got ruined, and then some in the cabinets got ruined. So I was just working with what I had because I wasn't willing to go buy a whole bunch of new food and start all over again for the week. So I just did what I could. And then here you're going to see that I had mac and cheese for my late dinner, and that's a fast carb. So I'm going to try to avoid fast carbs for my last dinner, but sometimes it'll happen. And then there is the Royal Red Robin burger. It was delicious, but I hope this helped you.